Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking to you about Astellia. I've been looking around the MMOs because there are a few that I would like to play on my channel. I still want to play Guild Wars 2, I'd still like to play Blade and Soul, and there's a few other ones that I'm kind of eyeing up as we wait for some new stuff to come out next year. And I landed on Astellia. Now, I do want to play these games for you and have episodes, but I also kind of wanted just something I could just play in a little bit of spare time, like if I've got 45 minutes before I go to work. I want to be able to just start up the game, not worry about setting up the microphone, shutting all the doors and windows, getting the recording software ready to go. I just want to get in the game, spam it, get out, get to work. So I decided to get Astellia, and I actually enjoy it. It's really strange. I honestly am enjoying the game. I didn't expect to. I expected it to be somewhat similar to Arcade Unchained, but I have to say I'm enjoying it far more than I ever enjoyed Arcade Unchained. A lot more. I'm almost addicted to the game. I want to just keep going and going, even though it's not the best game and there are definitely things I don't like about it, but I just want to keep going back. So the game must be doing something right to keep drawing me in. Now, I am using exit lag when I play Astellia, just like I am on all my MMOs these days, because oh my god, it makes such a difference. So if you guys need to improve your ping while you're playing your MMOs, check out my referral code down below for exit lag and see if it can improve your own gameplay. Now, back to Astellia. The thing about a lot of Asian MMOs is that the classes tend to be both gender locked and race locked. And Astellia is no different. I was wondering which class I should play because I usually go for magic users, though on my channel, since I started my channel, I've been trying to, play some other classes and get an experience in other combat styles. However, I'm like, you know what? I've been there, I've done that. I did that on Arcade and I was like, meh. So I thought I'd go back to my roots and pick mage. Now, the problem with mage isn't just that she's female. I mean, that's fine. But the mage is a freaking lolly. I am not, the happiest to be playing a little child character when I could have played an archer and had this really slick looking female just, running around like an absolute boss. Instead, I was restricted to a really, really short, childish looking character. From the get-go, I was not particularly enthusiastic about that side of the game, and I wondered at first how long I would last playing this game, having to look at this child character. I did try to edit her face to the best of my abilities to try and elongate it to make her look older and more mature, but as I progressed several hours into it, it looked terrible. It was not working for me, so I just embraced the lolly. And now she looks so freaking gosh darn cute, and I love looking at her and I love playing her. It's amazing how your attitude about a game can change once you just, flick a switch in your mind, physically change her appearance, and yeah, I'm really enjoying my cute little Triss character at the moment. So I'll see how long I can go with her current appearance. You know me, I like to change shit up really quickly because I get bored easily. But for now, I think she's adorable and I am happy with her as is. But that is a negative in its own sense, and that the mage is a lolly, and yeah, not too happy about that overall. And it also means that I don't get a lot of the cool costumes. So looking at other players in the field, which surprisingly aren't that many, so I guess maybe this isn't a very popular game, even though it's new. A lot of people are playing the archer class and it looks like so much fun, but because it's got the normal adult size character, they've got the really cool sexy outfits and they're beautiful outfits and they just look so slick. And my costumes are cool, don't get me wrong, but I really think that the really good ones are on the archers, so I am kind of missing out in that sense. But, as I said, I'm trying to embrace her as her own unique creature, so I don't mind her outfits. There's enough variety that come my way that I don't get bored with the costumes either, so that is also a good thing compared to, Arcade, which you're kind of stuck with the same thing for ages and ages and ages. I do feel that Astellia still has a cartoon feel. A lot of MMOs do have that feel these days, and it's not my style. I prefer a more mature, adult, realistic looking style compared to the cartoon, but despite that, I'm finding that the environment still looks great in this game. So when you first enter a new area, or it gives you like a panning shot of a scene, it's just so beautiful. Just the variety and the overall landscapes, and just the small ways that they fill these landscapes with all their flora. You know, in Arcade, you just had this empty space of like repeated textures on the ground and just like nothing. But in Astellia, you have a little bit of grass here and there popping up. There's a rock here, there's a rock there, there's a rock formation over there. Hell, there's a waterfall around the corner. You know, there's so much diversity to it, and it's just beautiful, despite being slightly on the cartoon side. Cartoon probably isn't the right word for it, but in my mind, that's how I characterize this kind of animation style. But yeah, so I love the environment despite all of that. Now, as we know, I am a story player. I need my games to have decent story, which is why I'm actually struggling with most of these MMOs, because their stories are absolute arse. I'd like to say that Astellia is better, but it really isn't. But at the same time, it's not that bad, I guess. I'm not reading the quests, I'm just spamming next and just doing them, which is probably how I will do Arcade. If I go back into Arcade, I'll just spam it because I can't be bothered to read that shit anymore. So I'm not really getting a fully grasp on what I'm doing per se, I'm just doing. But the overarching story is alright. I can kind of see where they were going, but I just feel like the overarching story is so few and far in between when you do so much other crappy quests in between that it kind of drags the whole game down as a result. But if you're interested, let me clue you in on what the main story is. So prior to this game, shit happened to the world. This woman decided to become the hero for reasons I probably didn't pay attention to because I'm skipping quests. She became the hero of the world. She was their savior. She saved them from the darkness and the demons and everything. And she's saving the world. Kind of like a Joan of Arc style woman, but because the king, or the leaders, I suppose, of the humans was being corrupted by demons or something along those lines, she was actually accused of, I don't even know what, accused of something she didn't do. They were going to kill her to punish her. So, you know, that poor woman, she's a hero. She's saved everybody. She's put herself on the line to save civilization. And now she's just been turned against and exiled and possibly about to die. So she flipped and wants to kill everybody as a result. I mean, I could totally empathize with that sort of perspective. So I'm all on your side, Euria, until she, you know, actually starts killing people, and then I'm like, yeah, maybe not so much. So she's the big bad of the gang, Euria. Her and her demons and her minions, etc., etc. So that idea, I kind of, that's a cool story. It's a great idea. Yeah, perhaps not implemented the most efficiently in the game, but I am enjoying that side of things. The big thing in this game that sort of sets it apart from all the other MMOs is the concept of astels, hence the name Astellia. There are a handful of people in the world, I don't know how many, they've never really gone into detail that I read about how rare these people are, but they have the ability to channel sort of these stars. Euria, the big bad, was one of these people, and that's how she saved everybody, by using the power of the astels. And you are an Astellia, I think that's what they call you, Astellia, yep, who has the power to, control's the wrong word, work with, channel these Estelle creatures, and they fight with you on the battle, so you can have maximum of 3 out at any given time. I find that this actually gives combat a nice feel. You know, in Arcade, I have to like heal myself after every single fight against one creature, and it just makes it very slow and time consuming and exhausting, and you know, I'm always getting hit and getting damaged and then I have to heal, and it's just like, it's a slog. But in Astellia, having even just one Estelle fighting with you is great, because you can have a tank Estelle, which takes the focus entirely off you, and you can just go all ham with your attacking. You can have a healer Estelle, which has become my favorite. I did have the tank until I started getting healers on my roster, and so now I just use a healer. So I'm just spamming it. Yes, I'm taking damage, but my Estelle is just healing me up, and it is fantastic. So it's nice to have either the focus shifted from you, or have someone else healing you so that you can get the job done efficiently. Or, you know, you can just have your assassin fighting alongside you, and if you prefer just an all-out DPS style. There's different ways that you can approach this. completely different ways. But I do find that having this extra person on the battlefield is so much more enjoyable. I really am enjoying the combat far more than I ever did in Arcade Unchained. And it's almost a shame that I'm doing this on my own time, so you guys aren't really seeing that in real time, but I am enjoying the combat. And not just because of the Estelles, it's also my attacks, my abilities as a mage. I feel like they flow more into each other. You know, I know the combos were a thing in Arcade, but they always felt a little clunky to me. Here, you can tangibly see and feel the difference between using things that flow one after the other. And I like how they look, even though I can kind of not really see them because my character's kind of standing in the way. But the overall effects from the magic, I like the look of, and I am enjoying. But now that I've mentioned that, actually, field of vision, it's awful in this game. Your character is so low on the bottom of the screen when you zoom in, because I like to be zoomed in behind my character, that half her body is covered by your shortcut key bar, which is kind of irritating. And so you can only see the top half of your character. And it also means that she's blocking all the action in front of her because of just the very narrow field of vision. So it's a little irksome, and it's not something you can change. There's no facility for it in the settings. I tried Googling it. Apparently no one's even asked the question. So I'm kind of stuck with that, and it's bothersome, but I can play regardless. So that's the combat side of just general combat and the Estelles. But the thing with the Estelles also is that you get them by doing certain quests throughout the game. And it's kind of like Pokemon, and you want to collect them all. Well, gotta catch them all. I want to get them all. I want to keep playing to add them to my deck, which is stupid because I only ever use 1, 2, maybe 3 on a very rare occasion Estelles in combat. So I don't need that many Estelles, but it's a strange thing, a need that we have to fulfill collections, to finish collections. And this is just as much the same as Pokemon. I want to get all the Estelles. So I think that was brilliantly included in this game. It creates a need, a compulsion to fulfill. So that's probably another thing that's keeping me engaged in this game that I don't have in Arcade. And saying that though, there are many beautiful and interesting Estelles that I don't have yet, because they're the much higher level Estelles that I'll get later in the game. But I have to say that a majority of the Estelles do feel a little childish. Some of them, the design seems really young, like you've got little lolly creatures, like girls on like steeds, and then there's like, I don't know if it was a duck or something on some other little mount, and it just feels young, which is not what I'm wanting in my MMOs, especially when you've got these archer women, you know, running around and scantily clad, and then you have these really childish characters fighting alongside you. It's really strange, but also just the way that the Estelles act, because they do have dialogue throughout the game that just goes over your playing, so over your combat and stuff. And the things they say and the way they act also feels very childish. There's one chick, I don't remember her name, I don't use her. Lyra, I don't know. But she's a musician and she can't sing. So there's an ongoing joke about her singing being really bad. But the way that they just express it and like rip her about it, it just keeps going. It's very, very immature in a way. And just her excitable voice is something that I don't jibe well with. But also Pisces, the Estelle Pisces. Pisces is scared. It's all you hear every 2 freaking seconds. Like, man the fuck up, Pisces. Like, seriously, I don't care for your shit. So, most of the Estelles are feeling quite young, and it makes me feel like this game is targeted at a younger audience, which is really weird for an MMO. And not something I'm particularly a fan of. I don't want to feel like something is aimed at a younger audience. And also one of the main inclusions in the main story. At the beginning of the game, some young girl child thing called Faye gets kidnapped by Euria, the big bad. And pretty much you're trying to find where Faye, that's her name, where Faye is and save her. But the scenes with her are just so childish, and she acted so childish. Obviously she was a child, but it's just like, it really feels like they're punching for a lower, younger audience. I don't know why, considering there's so much else in the game that's a normal MMO vibe. I don't get it. That's just the only way I can put it. I don't get it. And what's also weird is that your character never actually speaks in the dialogue. I don't mean in like voices and stuff. Most of your scene dialogues is just a series of texts that you spam through. Your character never says anything. Her Estelles always do the talking for her. So the Estelles are talking with all these NPCs. It's really strange. I don't know why. But, you know, since I just spam next, I just really ignore that part of the game. It doesn't really impact my immersion in the game per se, since I'm not reading it. I have encountered a couple of bugs while playing this game. There's one I encountered like 3 times in the span of one sitting, where you can't use your keyboard for input. Just no key works. You can you can manually get into the game menu with your mouse and try to exit the game that way, but it just doesn't exit. You're just stuck. So I have to Control-Alt-Delete and manually force close the game and get back into it. So that's something I've had multiple times, which is not ideal, let's just say. And the more main issue I have is that the game can be very choppy and laggy at times. I did see this game for the first time on one of Lazy Peon's videos when he was playing the beta, and he had even worse FPS issues. So I know it's not my PC, it's just that the game is very poorly rendered and optimized, which is a freaking shame. So it's not perfect, but I can overlook these issues strangely enough because I'm addicted to this game. And I don't know why, you know. Yes, there is a lot of things I like about it, but there's a lot of things I also don't like about it, and yet I wanted to keep playing. So I recommend that you guys do check out Astellia, even just to see for yourself how you feel. Maybe if you guys are playing Arcade Unchained, grab it and see how you feel about the two. Figure out which one you like more than the other and why. I know why I prefer Astellia to Arcade Unchained, but maybe you prefer Arcade, and you know, I'd be curious to know why you do prefer it the other way around. I haven't done all the stuff in the game, like all your guilds and your crafting and stuff. I'm just focusing on powering through and leveling as much as I can and getting all my Estelles, so I can't really comment on that side of the game, but the same for Arcade. I have no idea about the guilds and the crafting systems and that, so I'm a blank slate in that regard. So there we go, that is Astellia Online. I will continue to play this. I think instead of just playing it in my spare time, as I have been enjoying it thus far, I may start recording. It's gonna be hard though, because there's not much you can really react to and all you're doing is fighting shit. I know other people do it, but I seem to find that really unimmersive. But I will do my best, because I'm just putting so many hours into this game that I really should be making the most of it and recording it for you guys. Hope you enjoyed my summary so far. Maybe give Astellia a try yourself, and look forward to my Astellia videos going forward.
Nice to meet you.